The Shovel Mountain Skirmish of 1870, Texas Rangers versus Comanche warriors. In the turbulent years of 1870, the Texas Hill Country was a microcosm of the broader American frontier, an expanse of untamed land where survival demanded resilience, ingenuity, and an unyielding will. It was a place of stark contrasts, where the breathtaking beauty of the limestone cliffs and rolling hills masked the ever-present danger of raids, disease, and violence. Central to this story is the Shovel Mountain Skirmish, an event that symbolizes the intense and often tragic confrontations between settlers and the Comanche, a powerful Native American tribe whose dominion over the southern plains had been unmatched for generations. To truly understand the significance of the Shovel Mountain Skirmish, it is essential to delve deeply into the historical and cultural forces that shaped this conflict. It is a story not just of a single battle, but of two worlds colliding, a tale of bravery, strategy, and survival amid the broader tapestry of westward expansion, territorial disputes, and the resilience of the human spirit. The rise and dominance of the Comanche. For centuries, the Comanche were masters of the southern plains, their territory encompassing vast stretches of present-day Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Colorado, and New Mexico. Known as the Numunu, the people, in their own tongue, the Comanche emerged as a dominant force following their adoption of the horse, which they acquired in the early 18th century from Spanish settlers. This singular innovation transformed their society, allowing them to travel great distances, hunt buffalo with unparalleled efficiency, and conduct lightning-fast raids that struck fear into their adversaries. By the mid-19th century, the Comanche had developed a sophisticated martial culture centered on their equestrian prowess. Comanche warriors were renowned for their ability to fire arrows with deadly accuracy while riding at full gallop, a skill that gave them a significant advantage in battle. Their strategic use of hit-and-run tactics, ambushes, and mobility enabled them to dominate the plains for decades, their power checked only by internal divisions and external pressures from rival tribes and settlers. The Texas frontier and the expansionist push. As American settlers poured into Texas following its independence from Mexico in 1836 and its subsequent annexation by the United States in 1845, the frontier became a flashpoint of conflict. The Texas frontier was both a land of opportunity and a perilous no-man's land, where settlers faced the dual threats of hostile raids and environmental hardships. The influx of settlers disrupted traditional Comanche hunting grounds, leading to increasingly violent confrontations. The Texas Rangers, a paramilitary force established in the 1830s, played a pivotal role in this volatile environment. Originally formed to protect settlers from raids and enforce frontier justice, the Rangers quickly earned a reputation as skilled fighters and relentless pursuers of Native American groups. By the 1870s, the Rangers were equipped with advanced weaponry, including the Colt revolver and Winchester repeating rifle, which gave them a significant advantage in engagements with the Comanche and other tribes. The decimation of the buffalo and the decline of the Comanche. By the late 1860s and early 1870s, the Comanche's way of life was under siege. The buffalo, the cornerstone of their economy and culture, had been decimated by overhunting, driven in large part by market demand for hides and meat. Government's tacit encouragement of buffalo hunting was aimed at weakening Native American resistance, as the destruction of the herds deprived tribes like the Comanche of their primary food source, clothing, and trade goods. In addition to the ecological devastation, the Comanche were reeling from the impact of diseases such as smallpox and cholera, which had ravaged their communities. Despite these setbacks, they remained a formidable force, their resilience and determination evident in their continued raids and resistance to encroachment. Prelude to the Shovel Mountain Skirmish. The Texas Hill Country, a treacherous landscape. The Texas Hill Country, with its rugged terrain and dense vegetation, was both a haven and a hazard. For the Comanche, the hills and canyons provided natural cover and strategic vantage points for ambushes. For settlers and rangers, the same landscape presented significant challenges to navigation and communication. The hill country's beauty was deceptive. Beneath its serene surface lay a land shaped by struggle, where each settlement represented a hard-fought victory against nature and hostile forces. Dripping Springs, a small community near the present-day site of Austin, was emblematic of the settlements that dotted this region. Its residents, mostly farmers and ranchers, lived in constant vigilance, their lives punctuated by the ever-present threat of Comanche raids. These raids were not mere acts of violence, but strategic operations aimed at reclaiming stolen horses, gathering resources, and asserting dominance over a land they saw as their rightful domain. A seasoned leader. The Texas Rangers dispatched to address the raids in the Dripping Springs area were under the command of Captain Rufus Perry, a figure who embodied the grit and determination of the frontier. Born in Alabama in 1822, Perry had spent much of his life in Texas, honing his skills as a soldier and leader. His experience in battles against both Mexican forces and Native American tribes had earned him a reputation as a tactician and a man of unshakable resolve. Perry's approach to leadership was methodical and disciplined. He emphasized preparation and strategy, recognizing that success in the rugged terrain of the hill country required adaptability and quick thinking. His men, a mix of hardened veterans and eager recruits, were fiercely loyal to him, drawn to his unwavering commitment to their cause. The young recruit. Among Perry's Rangers was Frank Payne, a young man whose journey to the Shovel Mountain skirmish had been marked by personal tragedy and a deep desire for justice. Payne's first encounter with the Comanche had occurred during his boyhood, when a cow hunt with his father turned into a harrowing confrontation. This formative experience instilled in him a determination to protect his community and join the Rangers, despite the dangers and hardships of frontier life. Payne's inclusion in the Ranger Company was both a testament to his resilience and a reflection of the desperate need for able-bodied men willing to confront the frontier's myriad challenges. Though inexperienced compared to some of his comrades, Payne's courage and determination made him a valuable member of the unit. The skirmish unfolds. The encounter, a settler's desperate warning. The events leading to the Shovel Mountain skirmish began with a startling encounter. As the Rangers approached the area, they were met by a lone settler, his body bruised and his clothes torn, running frantically toward them. The man's cries of "Comanche" echoed through the hills, his terror palpable. Behind him, the distant but unmistakable war cries of the Comanche warriors grew louder, signaling the arrival of a formidable enemy force. Captain Perry quickly assessed the situation, ordering his men to prepare for battle. The Rangers formed a defensive line, their rifles trained on the direction of the approaching war cries. The tension was palpable as they waited, their eyes scanning the dense underbrush for any sign of movement. The first clash, the Comanche warriors, mounted on swift ponies, emerged from the thickets in a sudden burst of motion. Their war whoops, a mix of defiance and intimidation, filled the air as they charged toward the Rangers' position. The Rangers, disciplined and well-prepared, responded with a volley of rifle fire that sent the Comanche reeling. Yet the warriors regrouped quickly, their agility and tactical acumen evident as they launched a series of feints and probing attacks. The initial clash was fierce and chaotic, with both sides displaying remarkable courage and determination. The Comanche's traditional weapons, bows, lances, and muzzle-loading firearms, were no match for the Rangers' repeating rifles in terms of firepower, but their skill and audacity compensated for the technological disparity. The turning point, strategic maneuvers. Realizing that the Comanche were attempting to drive their stolen horses westward, Perry ordered a flanking maneuver to cut off their escape route. A detachment of Rangers, including Frank Payne, was dispatched to intercept the fleeing herd. The narrow canyons and rugged terrain of Shovel Mountain proved to be both a challenge and an advantage, as the Rangers used the natural features to block the Comanche's path and corral the horses. The Comanche, recognizing the threat to their escape plan, launched a desperate counterattack. This phase of the battle was marked by intense hand-to-hand combat, as the warriors sought to break through the Rangers' lines and reclaim the stolen livestock. The Rangers, however, held their ground, their superior weaponry and discipline proving decisive. The final moments. As the skirmish reached its climax, the Comanche suffered a significant blow, the death of their leader. The chief, whose presence had inspired his warriors, was struck down in the midst of a charge. His horse, carrying his lifeless body, continued forward before collapsing near the Rangers' position. This loss demoralized the remaining warriors, who began to retreat in the face of overwhelming odds. Victory and reflection. The Shovel Mountain skirmish ended in a clear victory for the Texas Rangers, but it was not without cost. Among the casualties was a young man from the Cox family, one of the three brothers serving in Perry's company. His death was a somber reminder of the sacrifices made by those who sought to tame the frontier. For the Comanche, the skirmish was yet another chapter in the long and bitter struggle to preserve their way of life. Though they had lost the battle, their courage and determination remained undiminished, a testament to their enduring spirit. Frank Payne's legacy. Frank Payne, whose journey from boyhood tragedy to Ranger heroism had brought him to the forefront of the conflict, continued to serve with distinction. After his time with the Rangers, he settled in Leakey, Texas, where he became a respected member of his community. His experiences in the Shovel Mountain skirmish and other engagements became part of the lore of the Texas frontier, a reminder of the bravery and resilience of those who lived through this tumultuous era. The Shovel Mountain skirmish is more than just a story of combat. It is a reflection of the broader forces that shaped the American frontier. It highlights the ingenuity and determination of the Texas Rangers, the cultural and martial prowess of the Comanche, and the profound changes wrought by westward expansion. In remembering this event, it is essential to honor the humanity and sacrifice of all those involved, settlers, Rangers, and Comanche alike. Their stories, though rooted in conflict, are also a testament to the resilience and complexity of the human spirit in the face of adversity.